Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about four patterns: chain of responsibility, decorator, adapter, and singleton. So chain of responsibility is when we give an object is going to fulfill the which object is going to fulfill the request basically. So we are chaining the request, and it is possible that we are not even going to honor that request at all. So here we have created three concrete handles: handle A, handle B, and handle C. And we are trying to add a successor to each handle. Like handle 1 is adding a successor to handle 2, handle 2 is adding a successor to 3. And finally, we're defining which one is the initial receiver. So for each class, we have created an object basically. This is a prototype functions like in JavaScript. So, and we have a handle request function for the client, and where our client is calling handle request to R1, and this is further navigating to the receiver and further on. So let's see the code of the concrete handle class. So we are setting a successor function in which we are saying that this dot successor is equal to next, and next is basically if A is not able to handle it, then which another class is going to handle it. So let's see how we manage that. So in the handle request, we are going to verify that what is the request. If it is like the request that I need to fulfill, then I'm going to that this class is going to fulfill it. Otherwise, we are going to check that if there is a successor, then move it to the next handle request. So and so forth. It will go like A and then B and then C. So let's see the section that like making a request of different like R1, which is expected to be consumed at 1. If R2, then it is going to be like it goes to 1 and then it goes to 2 and then 2 will consume it, and then 3 and so on. So let's see node chain of responsibility. So it's showing, see, R1, and this one is like handle, then R1, R2, and then R2 handles it, and R1, R2, and 3, and so on. So with this, we covered the chain of responsibility pattern. Now let's move to a second pattern, that is the decorator pattern. In a decorator pattern, where you say, what's the main thing? The main thing that is we have a class, and a concrete class, and it is surrounded by small objects that have their operations, basically implementing some operations. So we have created a decorator which has one common operation, and let's see how this operation is going to call the components for the function component operation function. So we have a concrete decorator A, which is like creating an object. Basically, it is an inheritance in JavaScript. How we are achieving this function is inheritance. So we are like object.create, and then we are creating it for a decorator prototype, and we are defining the operation here. Similarly, this is a constructor call if we want to identify. Otherwise, it will always give us the constructor of a decorator. That is not required. Similarly, this decorator.call in the B is going to call the constructor of the decorator, and this is going to be the operation basically. And this is the concrete component, which is just going to say, hey, hello world. So what the purpose is, like we want to make operation. Firstly, we call a concrete component, and then concrete decorator on that, and then concrete decorator B on that. So, and then output or operations. Now, when I call this output or operation, it is going to call the concrete decorator B, which is going to make a call to decorator, and then it is going to say, hey, this dot operation dot call. Now, so it makes another call to this. All right. So, and then further on, when the message comes, it will give B and this A. So let's see this in action. So it's node decorator.js. So see, so we call it in this order. When we call this operations, it will going to call hello world and then A and then B on that. So how the hierarchy works in this case, right? So this is how it works. We call the object here, which is the C, and the C is this function. And then this function is calling further functions. Okay. So basically it is chaining the calls. Okay, with this we complete the decorator. Now let's move to the adapter pattern. When we say about adapter pattern, what is an adapter pattern? Adapter is basically providing an interface. So we have a certain set define of interface that we need to provide to a client. And adaptee is the things that it might be doing a lot of stuff. It has different interface. But for client, we need a common interface for different applications. For example, it is possible that we need an interface for the basically adapter interface for all different platform users like mobile user, Android or iOS, and secondly for the web users. So this adapter pattern can be used there. So let's see how it action. We have adaptee class, we have a print message in this function, and then there is a target class where we are defining the object of the adaptee, and then we are calling the object by print function, and this is going to call the function of us. So this target is acting as an adapter, and the client is going to make a call to the target, and it is going to further call to this. So let's see this in class in action. Adaptee, so node. So see, it's going to call that. So next design pattern is a singleton pattern. So in singleton pattern, basically, as we know, we have only one instance of this class, and secondly, there must be some what I can say, a function through which we can make a request. So one open point to it. So firstly, we are trying to create an object of this. But as we have said that we don't want to create, and we usually take a static functions in Java to make things happen. Like we can get instance, and that instance is declared, and then, so in this case also, like firstly I try to, so that I'm just trying it because in case of like inheritance of all the stuff in JavaScript. So when I call singleton node singleton JS, so it's going to give me a failure because singleton is not a constructor, because what we try to do is we create a function here directly, no constructor at all. So the new operator can't be used on a singleton. And secondly, when we comment it and we start running it, right? So when I execute this Node.js, so now it's working fine. Now see, in this we call a singleton.get instance, and it is going to call this function, and the return is get instance, and then this is if checking if the instance already exists or not exist. If not exists, okay, create a new object, do it, and return that. Then again, if we make a second call, it's not going to call. This condition will fall, and then it is going to return the same object. And that's what we have seen at this command terminal. So with this, we cover 4 patterns, and hopefully it is I'm able to deliver it as per the expectations. Thank you. Just meet some.